everybody, it's Teresa here from Rochester in Kent in the UK. I hope you're all well and happy. This is going to be a very short project, using up your scraps, some rubbish from the kitchen, all sorts of things that you don't have to go out and buy, because I expect most of you have everything we need for this project in your rag bags, your scrap bags, button boxes, whatever. So please don't feel you need to rush out and buy anything special for this. I see this project as something to do over Christmas. Maybe you're not into Christmas, you want a short project. Maybe you are into Christmas and you're so tired you want to sew, but do something mindful, some mindful sewing. Just sit and have a think, or not. So this is one of those sort of projects, something that you'll get something out at the end of it, but something you don't have to think about or stress about. Okay, so I'm hoping to keep this quite short. If this does go out at Christmas, it's over Christmas, I do hope you're all having a nice time. No matter what you're doing or where you are, I hope you're safe, and I hope you're with friends or alone if that's what you prefer. I hope you're doing something for you. Okay, so with that, we're just going to jump into this project and make a start now. So the first thing to do is collect some of the pieces, the scrap pieces of fabric from your rag bag. These are mine here in front of me. Now, as I said, it's going to be a short project, so I'm not going through them, but they are all bits and pieces, as you'll see as time goes along. Now, I'm using a calico background here, and I'm going to put each of the little pieces onto this calico and machine sew them. I'm going to use two at the same time. I'm going to put one flat down on the background fabric, as you can see, and then I'm going to place another piece on top. So I've now got right sides together, and I'm going to machine them along here and create a very small seam. Now, any overlapping pieces, as you can see, the top piece is overlapping. I'm just going to trim that off with the scissors, just to make the edges the same length. You can see here, that is the piece that hasn't been sewn because it's overlapping, not attached to anything. Just open it up, there we go. And I'm going to do this process again with another piece of fabric. Now, all these pieces of fabric are the same, are not the same size, so we should get a really nice mismatch of shapes. So this is all I'm going to do. Keep repeating the process that I've just shown you. I'm just going to stop for a little while to show you how it's taking shape already with just the four pieces, and hopefully you can get an idea of how this is all fits together. Just try to marry up the sizes as best as you can, but any overlapping you can trim off until you get the effect that you want. See, that's a nice big piece there, so that will probably be ideal on a longer size. Now, there is also another way of doing this, so I'm giving you the options here. The other way is to join two pieces of fabric. As I'm doing here on the sewing machine, I'm just sewing two together, right sides together here, and I'm going to run the sewing machine down the two to make a little seam. Hold it with the needle in. Once you get to the end, don't break the seam, hold it, and then do the same with another pair fabric. So you can see here I'm just making exactly the same, doing the same, two pair of fabric, or a pair of fabric, and I'm just running the machine machine right the way across, and it ends up looking like some sort of flag, long flag, where the pieces are attached in the center. There we go. Now I find this an easier way of doing a lot of patchwork. Sometimes you don't want to do it the first way that I've shown you, but this is another way. There's all sorts of ways of doing patchwork actually. This is just another way of doing it. Then going to snip between these. A nice sharp pair of scissors, just snip them like so. Open them up. Now you can press them with the iron or do a finger press along there. And I think you probably know what I'm going to do now. Doesn't matter if they're not the right size. Doesn't matter, because we can trim. We can trim. Now with each pair I'm now going to join them so I get a strip with 4 pieces in them.
Not here to harm you or ridicule you. We're just here to communicate with you. Are you here?
I decided an easier way to do this as well would be to make 2 blocks to cover the back and fill in the sides as I go along. I'm also going to top stitch with feather stitch. I think I love that stitch. It'll make a nice decoration. Before I start the feather stitch in the top, I'm just going to give a brief recap on how to do feather stitch. I'm sure you all know this by now. The easy way to do is to crease a line in your work, in your canvas. I'm working on Ada with 6 strands of thread, and that is primarily so you can see it on the screen, and once again it's exaggerated. You're going to make a loop as shown in the demonstration, and then go over to the right and do exactly the same. Down you go like so, pull it gently, and that is just your stitch. And then you're going to go over to the left, and that is all there is to it. It is a beautiful stitch to do, easy, quick, and I just love it. It's got such a beautiful effect. So I've made a start. I thought I'd just let you see how I'm doing. I'm going to follow the lines all along here where my finger is, across and down as well, and hopefully get a pleasing effect. Still don't know what I'm going to do with it though. Feather stitch is finished. I've only used the one type of stitch and just feather stitch at the moment. I might introduce some running stitch later, but I quite like this effect just with the one stitch and the black as well. It's giving it a nice outlining definition to it. I'm quite pleased with this. I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so you can see it. And there we go. So now I'm going to think about what I can do with it. Well, I think I know what I'm going to do with this now. I'm going to cover this really nice chocolate tin. Had it's not hot chocolate in there, it had hot chocolate powder in there. And I'm going to cover it with this. This is really nice and sturdy, and I've actually had a lot of scissors in there standing up just on the table, but I thought I know what I'm going to do. Cover this. So in order for it to wrap all the way round, and I'll just briefly show you here like that, I've needed just to strengthen the ends a little bit, well just one end, just so they meet. So I've had to, first of all, I've had to cut off a row along here, and it was a row that went possibly at the top, let's say it went down there, all the way along here. So I've cut one row off and I've put it along the side here, just machine sewn it together, just a seam there, seamed it. That was just sheer luck that the feather stitch came out on the edge, and it actually looks as if they're joining. Now that is all I had over from that end from cutting the row off. So I put that on there. Now I'm not sure whether I finished this yet. I think I might like to add a few bits on here, but as soon as I've decided, I will get my double-sided tape here and run it around the tin, around here and here in the middle, and secure that with just a little bit of overlap either end, a little bit there and a little bit there, and they'll both be tucked under, and then that will be rolled round somehow like that and sewn down, sewn down here to cover the tin, and then we'll worry about the bottom and the top. So that is my next step. Well, several steps there, I think, but I'm eager now to finish this and get this out before Christmas. I feel that it's been hanging about a bit too long, so I'm now going to sit down, have a coffee and think about whether I need to add anything here or if I could just leave it as it is. So there we are. Hopefully next time you see this, it might be on the tin, who knows. Made some changes since the last time you saw this. I think I don't have to point them out, but I have put some buttons here just for decorations. I particularly like this. I have so many buttons, probably like you all, that I'm never ever going to use them, so I thought I'm going to start using them up in some project work. Not too much, because then it'll be very samey, but put a few buttons on here. As I said, I like them in a row like this, so not too many, just a few. I think it adds something. Now this looks a bit lopsided here, and it isn't. You see that? It isn't lopsided at all. It's the angle of the camera, and at the moment there's nothing I can do about that. So it is really in shape, if you like, but it's the way the camera is, it's making it look all wonky, but it isn't. Now the first thing I'm going to do to the tin before I put this on is just put a little bit of wadding. Just, it could be anything. I just happen to have this in my stash, and I thought, well, I'm going to use that. It's very, very pretty, but can't actually see me using that on anything other than wadding. So I'm going to stick this to the edge, or around the edge of the tin, and it is slightly smaller than the cover. Okay, if you can see that, it's just slightly shorter. This is terrible having the camera at this angle. I really do apologise. Would it be better if I do it that way, maybe? Yeah, I think maybe it will. So it's slightly smaller than the front cover. Okay, now I'm going to stick this down with double-sided tape. Now this is wonderful tape. It's up to you how you stick yours down, but because this isn't porous, I'm going to need something that will stick on the shiny edge, and all I'm going to do is put it here under the lip, right the way around here, right round till we meet it again here. One there. I'll put one here above the lip at the bottom. Whoops, around there. It doesn't have to be straight on. Problem is, last night my daughter Glenn and I went out to see, to a local theatre. It's a lovely, lovely theatre, to see A Fairy Tale of New York. I believe it's touring the country at the moment, and it's like one big Irish party. It's absolutely fabulous. Lots of Christmas singing, lots of Irish songs, Irish dancing. It was just like, as I said, an Irish ceilidh. And coming from an Irish family myself, I loved every single minute of it. So made me think of my lovely dad, who passed several years ago, and I miss him every single day. every single day. I miss my mum and dad. And he was there last night in spirit, and I could hear him singing some of the songs. It was just lovely. So this morning, after a couple of nice wines and then another wine when I got back, late night, early morning, my head's a bit wonky today. I'm going out tonight as well to see the new film Wicked. Saw that at the stage production in London some time ago, and now it's the film, and if it's half as good as the stage production, we're in for a good night. But anyway, back to this. I'm now going to take this, the edge to edge underneath the lip here, all the way around, pushing it down, but making sure not to put this on a surface while I do it. And today might not be the best day for me to do this. There, I keep blaming my glasses for the headache, but I think it's actually the gorgeous wine. I'm not really a wine drinker. I like a drop of whiskey, which shocks most people. I don't know why. But yeah, so wine is quite nice. Right, now that is all the way round. You can see there, edge to edge, all the way around. Just going to roll it flat, trim that little bit off there. Doesn't really matter because I've stretched this so it isn't very, very plump now. That's it. Now this end is extending over. You see that? It's extending, and I'm just going to push that down like so and stick that. I think actually if I just stick it, see, I haven't got my brainy or my thinking head on at the moment. I'm just going to stick some of this around there just to hold it down. Oh, right, I think they're beginning to make this easier to get off, to peel, because at one time it was quite difficult. Put some of that on there. It might be easier to put it on the fabric actually. So there we are, all around there. Yeah, coming up to Christmas, we like to do lots of Christmassy things. Tomorrow we're going for a day trip to Bruges, and Bruges is beautiful. It's in Belgium, and it is just gorgeous. I actually love Belgium. It's a very small country, and it's beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that, but the weather's not looking too good at the moment. And it's only a day trip. That one's only a day trip. We go to Germany next week. As you can tell, we do Christmas in quite a big way here. It's the only thing that we do actually in a big way. I was brought up by parents who loved Christmas. The whole year was about Christmas, and it was wrapped around the church. I have to say it does have meaning, spiritual meaning, which you know, it just wouldn't be the same for me if it didn't have meaning. So that is why I just love Christmas. My children are the same. It's the time of the year. But anyway, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. We're all different, aren't we? Fortunately, we're all different. Be pretty grim if we were all the same. Be very noisy as well. Wouldn't do if we were all singing and dancing and clapping our hands. Or would it? Eh? Right, see, now that's coming out. Probably because I've got 2 layers there, or 3 layers to that lining. Right, now I'm going to pop that down there and very quickly turn it over. Right, so that is just covered, just to give it a nice, you don't have to do that, you could go straight onto the tin, but I just like to give that a nice soft look, soft feel. But as I said, you do not have to do that. Now this has been cut bigger, not too big, just slightly, to tuck in here going to tuck in the top and it's going to tuck under the bottom. And I'm basically going to do this the same way that I did the tin. So I'm going to put this all the way round. So what I have just done with the lining, the blue, I'm going to do with the cover, but I might add, well I can see I'm doing it now, I'm going to add just a little bit more tape around here. There we go, all the way around there. And then I want some on that, no that's not the lip, I don't want that on the lip. And then I'll deal with the bottom later. So actually I've only put 3 on there, haven't I? The same as I did on the lining. Alright, okay. So let's just take this off. There we are. Chunk of nail varnish left on there. Right, now I want the edge of this extending over the bottom and the top. I think I'll have this here. So I'm going to start to do, let's just measure that against, right, so that needs to go in there a little bit. I'm going to run this round and try as much as I can to keep that even round the top. It doesn't matter if it isn't. We haven't got the straight line piece in today. Right, round we go, round here, roll it round there. Right, I need to pull that a bit more. Right, it's round there. Need to pull that here, pull it tightly. What you could do is actually make a cylinder, sew down here with your sewing machine, and then pop the cylinder, pop it on. But you have to be very careful with that to get the exact size. Now as you can see, I'm going to have a white line there because what I didn't do, I didn't account for the lining. What I could do actually, I will pull that round, pull that round a bit more. Nice and tall, and I'm going to push that one over. I know it's the rough edge, but I can deal with that. And then over there, like that. Just going to pop a pin there. Oops. See, if I hadn't gone out last night, I would have done that properly, wouldn't I? Right, so now this is going to go inside. So this is the top, that will go inside, and then we'll take that underneath. I think first of all I'm going to take that underneath. Whoops, oh, I'm all stuck up. Right, so now this I can just do roughly because all this is going to be covered up, well most of it anyway, with a nice little piece of fabric there. Right, let's see how we get on this. Might be the last piece. Let's see how we get on there. Right, that's fine, that's just held that in place. Tiny bit there. There we go. So we're going to turn that under now. So the top, we're going to put the tape on the fabric. But first of all, I'm just going to cut in just a few little snips to make it easier to turn in. If I can find a decent pair of scissors. So just a few little cuts in, and that will make it There we go, all the way around, just a few little snips. And then I'm going to put this, I wonder if I should do it, no, I'll do it this way. I'm going to put this sticky tape this way. I'm not going to do it in one round long piece because I don't think I could handle that at the moment. And then I'll take it off and I'll just pop it inside. So underneath I cut just a ring of green felt, and that was what I used, the inside of that. Cut that, and I've stuck it down. It was intended just to tack it down with the double-sided tape, but having said that, it's holding it so firm that I might not bother doing a few stitches around there. I'm going to see how it goes. At the moment I'm going to leave it because I can see I need a bit more there, but it is really flat and stuck down tightly, so I might leave that. Now the side, I've put a little bit there to cover up. Now what I did start doing with that tiny piece of fabric that I had over, I thought I'd make a little bit of tape and put it down there, but there were all sorts of problems with that. I had ends after I cut it. I got a lot of sewing ends. Let me see, look, can you see the broken sewing ends there? Popped it down there, and it was going to protrude too much. It was going to be too far above the rest of it, and I thought, no, I don't like that. So I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this into a feature. So I have now, I popped that down there once again on these double-sided tape. So I haven't done any sewing on there. Thought I might do some along here, but I need to live with this for a while just to see what I do need to do. But I've cut some more of that trim there, and I only had a tiny bit of this. I've still got a little bit left, but not much. So I've trimmed that, and I put that on the double-sided tape, and I'm going to put it around the top. So I should start from the back, peel it. Now if I don't like the look, I don't know which way to have it, facing down or facing up. Yeah, if I don't like the way it looks facing down, I should just take it off, so there's no harm done. I won't even have wasted this little bit of trim. So just going to peel back some of that, and I'm going to start on the top of that, edge to edge with the tin there, edge to edge, right the way round. Oh, I do hope it looks okay. As I say, if not, I'll just take it off. I could even do some over sewing, decorative stitches, but I don't think it needs anything else. I don't think it actually needs any more stitching. Right, back to where I started. Good grief, I used all that. There we are. Let's just have out of that whole strip, I've just got that over. So I'll pop that there. That will come in handy once again. Pop that on the side. So there we are. Trim these. Now this is just for my work table, so it suits me. Had I been doing it for someone else, or teaching it in class, I probably would have finished off the inside, maybe even lined it, depending on what the function is. But this is for scissors, 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 and then all the other scissors are lying around. So I just put my scissors in there, and I'm quite pleased with that. All scraps, didn't cost a penny. I had the buttons, I had the felt. Still not sure. Looks as if I might need a few stitches in there. There's no easy way to get this on the screen really. Let's see if I can pull that down so you can see it a bit better. Pull it up. There we go, that's better. There we are. So that is finished. I hope you like that, and you can see it didn't take very long at all. This is a very short project, and you can do this with everything that you have, from the tin that's in your kitchen, the pieces that you have stored away in your rag bag, and just little offcuts of lace, buttons from an old blouse, or something old you have that you will no longer use that isn't worth donating to charity. And you probably have all these anyway in your button tin or your button jar. So there you go. So I say, I do hope you enjoyed it. Might be something to do over the Christmas period, something when you just want to do a little bit of mindful sewing. Okay, so anyway, speak to you again soon. Take care everybody, and please keep well.